Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's time for my weekly comic book review. This week's comics came out April 24th, 2013. Let's get started with Image. Invincible number 102. In this issue, Omni-Man fights Thrag, the leader of the Viltrumite Empire, and we learned that Omni-Man, aka Nolan, aka Mark's dad, is actually the long-lost heir to the Viltrumite royal bloodline. So now he's the new leader of the Viltrumites, and once after the fight's done, mainly because Nolan had help from the other Viltrumites who heard their conversation, Nolan's pretty much sworn in as the new king, and he promises them that things are going to change now. The Viltrumite Empire is no longer going to, go out and attack take over planets anymore. Now they're just going to try to focus on repopulation for now, and then see what comes next. And also, after Mark hears his dad's big swearing-in opening speech, he goes back to Earth and he talks to Eve about how things are changing, and that leads to Mark proposing to Eve. So they're engaged now. Yay! Alright, Invincible number 102. This is pretty much following the exact same type of theme that's going on in 101 right now, which is that things are changing. Okay, things are going to be different. I mean, yeah, we're for Mark, career-wise, he's kind of back in the same situation when he started out, which was working for Cecil. But now he's also he's getting engaged to Eve. He's got a kid on the way, and now his dad's the leader of the Viltrumite Empire. So, things are definitely changing in Invincible, which is good. Because they just passed issue 100. Things are going to get different now. I applaud that. I hope the changes stick, and that we don't, go back and go and they get erased from history or something. But yeah, Invincible is definitely my favorite independent comic. Really like it. I highly recommend it to people who really want something to read that's not Marvel or DC. It's a really great series. I would highly recommend people pick this up. Okay. Now for DC, starting with The Flash, number 19. Barry still doesn't have his powers back. He's stuck in the prison dealing with the Outlanders who are trying to free the Trickster, and also Albert, one of the victims who was stuck in the Speed Force, who came back and has speed powers now, accidentally released a bunch of prisoners while trying to be a superhero, and Barry had to deal with all of that. But good news is he wasn't completely helpless. He was able to get into the armory and get the equipment that was used by the Rogues so that he could, hold his own in the prison. And good news, though, he does get his powers back, but after all the prison fights and everything happens in the issue. And we do discover that one of the other victims, who was Marisa, the other Gomez, who we saw again last issue, his girlfriend, she also had Speed Force powers, but she was also the one who framed the Trickster for murder. And at the end once all the prison situations sorted out, Albert talks to Barry, and Barry then starts to become a little suspicious about whether or not Iris West has powers or not. He's unsure about that. And in the last few pages, we get an appearance by the new Reverse Flash, who kills Albert. And that's what happens. Okay, story itself, with Barry being powerless and, using the Rogue's equipment to help him get out of trouble in Iron Heights, was very nice. I like that part of the story. It was interesting to see Barry without his powers for a change, and, instead of dealing things quickly, he has to sort of hide and plan and strategize. That was very interesting. I like that take. The new Reverse Flash, my guess is it is most likely Gomez, the other victim who is trapped in the Speed Force along with Albert and Iris way back, who we saw last issue had speed powers from the Speed Force. I really think that once you see the Reverse Flash in this issue and you get a good look at him, you see that he looks very similar to Gomez. So that's who I think is the new Reverse Flash. How this happened, how his powers changed or anything, I'm a little confused by. I hope they get an explanation of that when we start to get more into the new Reverse Flash. But yeah, overall, we're now getting teased about the idea of the new Reverse Flash. It looks interesting. I'm going to stick around for this. Also, this issue was a little interesting, where Barry lost his powers, and so that was a new kind of thing for him. In case you're wondering what happened to Barry's powers, you'll have to read this month's Dial H, I believe, but I'm not going to read that because that comic's not really my thing. So you don't really need to read Dial H. They do provide an explanation about that in this issue, so no need to actually read the issue if you just want to get it for the Flash. But overall, Flash number 19, great issue. If you do like the Reverse Flash, I would recommend reading this upcoming story arc because it seems like the new Reverse Flash is going to be a little interesting. Okay. Next up, Superman number 19. After Superman deals with a bunch of invading aliens, he goes to meet Diana, Wonder Woman, at Lois Lane and Jonathan Carroll's housewarming party because they got a new place. And when Clark arrives, he starts to notice that Lois, Perry White, Jonathan are all acting a little weird and out of character, which surprises him. And meanwhile, while Clark's at the party, Orion breaks into Star Labs and he attacks Hector Hammond because he believes that Hector Hammond is going to be the cause that will lead to the destruction of the universe. But Orion discovers that Hector Hammond is brain dead. His body's fine, but his mind is gone. So Orion has his mother box track Hammond's mind, which leads him to Superman. And when Clark and Diana get some alone time on the balcony, Orion shows up, throws Clark into the river, and a fight's going to start, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, Superman 19. It's not bad. I mean, I am a little interested into how what role Hector Hammond has to play in this whole prophecy Orion saw that was going to be, which said that Superman was going to destroy the universe. I'm a little interested by that. But I really think right now we're kind of getting into the start of the plot right here, and next issue is going to be Orion explaining everything to Superman, and then issue 21, which, if you saw the solicitations for it, you saw Hector Hammond on the cover. I think that's going to be, the big event and closer for this story arc. But yeah, right now, I have to say, Scott Lobel is actually doing an okay job on Superman. I mean, it's a lot better than his work on Teen Titans. I'll tell you that much. But I think he's doing a good job on this book right now. And I think right now the Superman title will be able to hold me until Unchained or until Superman Unchained comes out this summer, which I'm looking forward to. All right, time for Marvel. Avengers number 10. Avengers is known for being the slowest moving plot title right now. Anyways. What happens in this issue is the Avengers work with Department H to investigate one of the gene bomb sites, and of course, and the reason they're investigating is because a couple of days earlier they sent in Omega Flight, a team of Canadian superheroes to investigate, but the bomb site created a biodome which locked them in. They lost all contact. Now the Avengers and Agent, I hope I'm saying this right, Michaud, go in, try to figure out what's going on what happened to Omega Flight. They go in, and when the Avengers and Michaud go in, they immediately are greeted by these little yellow alien things that live in the dome, and they take them to this big sort of like crater, and and the crater starts to glow, and out comes the member of Omega Flight, Validator, who's also Michaud's daughter. And of course she's possessed by the system, which is the big thing right now in Avengers. And she whispers something to Michaud. Then suddenly we cut to the Avengers in a big open desert type thing, and then right after they reappear, Michaud just shoots himself in the head, and he shoots himself after Wolverine asks him, like, "Hey, what did Validator say to you?" And so that's when Michaud just shoots himself in the head. And then Maria Hill and Department H liaison Porter review over the footage that was in like this sort of camera implant in Michaud's eye about what happened, and apparently what And apparently what happened was apparently time moved a lot faster in the dome than it did outside it, which shocks them. And the last page of this issue does reveal what Validator told her father, and the thing she said was, the system is online. Okay, and that's kind of a big deal, because for the last couple of issues, people have said, like, the system, the guys in charge here with Ex Nihilos, they've been saying, like, the system is broken, but now they're saying that it's online. So obviously the last page is probably the only thing that, you know, is related to the plot in this issue. Well, of course the gene bomb is too, but other than that, Avengers, this is the problem with, I think, with Jonathan Hickman writing I'm kind of having the same problem with Avengers that I had with Fantastic Four when it was written by Hickman. It's very slow moving. Okay, like the first couple of issues, he opens up with a bang, but after that, everything just keeps slowing down, and it keeps feeling like he's dragging it out until we finally get to what's going on, to what he's leading up to. And you know, I really hope we get something soon, because this is issue 10, and I have a feeling that if we don't get some real progress by issue 12 or something, then it will be a while again, and I'm probably just going to drop it after that, because let's face it, I do not want to keep this title dragging. I do not want them to drag out this title for a while. Okay, I really don't. But yeah, only pick up Avengers if you have a lot of patience. That's the only advice I can give you right now. Okay, Scarlet Spider number 16. Basically what happens here is Kane attends the Houston rodeo with his friends, and he ends up dealing with the drunk ex-superhero known as the Armadillo. He's able to take care of that very quickly, and in the end of the issue, Kane starts a relationship with Annabelle. Very nice. But the real thing that happens here is that on the first page of this issue, the very first page, we actually get to see the letter that Madam Web, Julia Carpenter, wrote Kane and sent to him in Houston. You know, that letter that we've seen a couple of issues, that's been popping up in a couple of issues. We actually get to see it, and it's basically a warning Madam Web has to Kane saying, listen, I was wrong, don't stay in Houston, get out of there, go to Mexico like you wanted. And then the last page of this issue, the very last page, we see Annabelle finding the letter, and she sees that it says K. Parker on it, and she burns it. So there's something. So obviously Kane never got the letter. So obviously there's some big trouble happening in Houston. Something that Madam Web doesn't even think Kane's prepared to handle. So you know, that looks interesting. I would definitely right now, if you've been curious about whether or not to pick up Scarlet Spider, I'd say start with this issue. Read this issue, because right now this is a good jumping on point. Okay, pick this issue up, read it. If you liked it, stick around. But if not, then you know, that's okay. If it's not really your thing, if you read this issue and it's not really your thing, that's okay. You can skip it. But you know, if you want to, but right now I would say this is a good jumping on point for new readers. Everyone else who's been getting it ongoing after what happened in the last three, I'd say this is, you know, a little better than that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend picking up Scarlet Spider 16 if you're either a continuing reader or a new reader. Alright, next up, Young Avengers number 4. Marvel Boy and Hawkeye finally show up to the main plot. They're able to briefly subdue Mother, the parasite that's imitating Teddy's mom and controlling all the parents. And they're able to get the Miss America, Wiccan, Hulkling, and Loki out of trouble. And they nearly escape. Unfortunately, Mother controls pretty much all the parents in New York to attack their ship, and they crash in Central Park. And of course, with the imminent attack coming, and well, they lose control and they crash. Then with, you know, this whole attack from all these adults coming, they decide that, and they're running out of options. So Billy decides, okay, I'm gonna go with the original plan and give Loki my powers for 10 minutes. And he does that. Oh yeah, and he doesn't just immediately decide this. Loki still keeps suggesting it, like, loan me your power for 10 minutes. It's the only way. And Billy does it. He loans Loki his powers for 10 minutes. And when Loki gets the powers, he teleports away. Who didn't see that coming, really? Who didn't see that coming? Who didn't even think about that when they heard, "Give me your power," Loki said, "Give me your powers," then, I mean, obviously he's gonna run. Okay, Loki's obviously gonna run. So Loki teleports away, and everyone's just like, "We are boned." That's the last page of the issue, right there. But yeah, Young Avengers number 4. This is slightly better than the last issue because now we finally have Hawkeye and Marvel Boy added. The team's together, except Loki, who kind of wussed out at the end. But yeah, Young Avengers number 4. Well, I think now we're starting to get to the conclusion. Why Loki? I really hope that there's an ulterior motive as to why Loki wanted Wiccan's powers for only 10 minutes and what he's doing. Because I mean, even though he is the god of mischief, it is interesting that he would say 10 minutes specifically. I mean, if he said 10 minutes, then why would he? I mean, why that certain amount of time? That's what I'm wondering. And so, you know, I hopefully next issue we'll get to some conclusions and explanation as to what Loki's really planning, and you know, hopefully they can defeat Mother and move on. But yeah, Young Avengers number 4. It's not exactly as great as the first team of Young Avengers, but you know, it's all right. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's okay. So right now, since we're kind of like past the halfway point for the first story arc, I'd say if you haven't been reading this, maybe wait for the trade to come out, and also wait till this story arc's done before jumping on for the book. Okay? And last comic, Uncanny Avengers number 7. The Apocalypse twins have begun their attack. They've returned to the present. They attack Celestial right when he's meeting with Apocalypse's other son, Genocide, to give him a death seed. So they kill one of the Celestials because Kang gave them Thor's axe, which we saw last issue has the ability to harm Celestials. And so they attack. They kill all of Apocalypse's henchmen except for Pestilence because she's their mom. And now they head to Earth. And Captain America and Sunfire are called to Sword, who let them know that, you know, someone had killed a Celestial. They're headed towards Earth. We have trouble coming. And so Cap contacts the Avengers Unity Squad, who right now Havoc, the leader, is dealing with the damage control over Rogue's actions last issue, which was when she siphoned off some of Wonder Man's powers, she accidentally killed the Grim Reaper. Not the literal Grim Reaper, the supervillain criminal. Just to point that out there for people who are confused. Anyways, so Havoc's dealing with damage control. He kind of has to spin this so no one takes this out of context. And also he puts Rogue off the active roster. And so yeah, Cap is able to contact the Avengers and tell them that, you know, we're under attack. Someone's coming to Earth, and we have footage here, and it's footage of the Apocalypse twins. And immediately Thor recognizes his axe. So immediately following that, Thor springs into action, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, we got the Apocalypse. Okay, the Apocalypse twins are here. And of course, if you saw the epilogue from the end of the first story arc, you know that big things are going to happen. I'm really excited for this. My only beef with this issue is just that it's not really. My only beef is just the artwork inside. I mean, the last few issues were pretty great, but the art the interior art in this wasn't really that great. So that's it. Other than that, I look forward to seeing how the Avengers are going to deal with the Apocalypse twins. Can't wait to see what happens. Uncanny Avengers right now is probably one of my favorite Avengers titles. A lot better than, you know, the main Avengers title, mainly because this one is actually has the plot moving. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, that's it for my review for now. Quick little recap. Uncanny Avengers number 7. Apocalypse twins have arrived. Can't wait to read what happens next. Young Avengers number 4. Billy finally lets Loki lend him his powers, and he bails on them. Who didn't see that coming? I'd say wait till the first story arc's done before picking this up. Scarlet Spider number 16, perfect jump on point for new readers. Continuing readers, this issue is actually better than the last story arc we had. Avengers number 10, only get this title if you really like long-awaited story arcs, because Hickman, the guy's a good writer, but he just takes too long to get to the main plot. Superman number 19. Superman's dealing with Orion. Superman's dealing with Orion. Pretty much, next issue will probably be an explanation as to what's going on. Until then, right now, this is an okay issue. Very interesting. Scott Lobel is actually doing a better job on Superman than he is on Teen Titans. I'll tell you that much. Flash number 19. The Reverse Flash is starting to show up. Can't wait for that story arc. It starts here, so if you really want to see the Reverse Flash story arc, then I recommend you start here and start picking it up from here. Sorry, my iPad. And Invincible 102. Things are changing this title. Really can't wait to see what happens now in Mark's life, especially since he's now engaged and he's also going to be a dad. Also, his dad, Nolan, is now the king of the Viltrumite Empire. Can't wait to read what happens after that. Really loving Invincible. Highly recommend this title to people. Okay, that's it for my comic review this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.